Welcome to the National Honor Society induction ceremony. Though unable to gather in the way we ordinarily would, we wanted to formally recognize those students who've been selected by the faculty for having successfully completed their candidacy and being inducted as new members of the Joseph Osgood chapter. For current members and those former members who may be watching this video, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of one of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition programs. Our chapter is proud to have been inducting new members since 1967, and with the induction of our newest members, we demonstrate our continued commitment to recognizing student excellence in our community. In this especially trying time, it is more important than ever to have student role models. Our members rise to the occasion each and every day. In addition to the scholarly achievement, which establishes eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in countless student organizations and serve our school community through many activities, including the Holbrook Center, the Paul Pratt Library, assisting with the pandemic response, and volunteering at the Scituate Animal Shelter. We are proud of the record of accomplishment and welcome these new members who bring energy in support of the continuing work of our organization. At this time, I would like to introduce our chapter president, Mr. Gunnar Nee.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Our first guest speaker is a familiar face in the Cohasset High School community. Dr. Ann Tomei is the former head of the science department here at Cohasset High School. A beloved educator in our community for 20 years, her AP chemistry class was effectively a rite of passage for NHS members. Dr. Tomei had the following words to share with our inductees.
Good day. I hope you are having a particularly good day, because this is the day that we take a moment to honor the achievement that either you or someone that you know has accomplished in order to enter the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. My name is Dr. Ann Tomei, and I recently retired after 20 years teaching here at Cohasset Middle High School, a long-term life experience of which I am deeply grateful. I have been out of the school for less than 18 months, and so much has changed. That is likely a cliche that many retirees have said in the past, but with the advent of COVID-19 to our shores last January, we truly have been thrust into changes mere mortals would have been hard-pressed to imagine. So it is really, really great to be back. When your advisor, Mr. Turner, invited me to address you today, I knew I would say yes, as I had often wished for the honor. Year after year, I sat in a packed Cohasset Middle High School auditorium as a department chair, or as a teacher, or as an inductor of a specific inductee, and I eagerly listened to amazing words from all manner of respected adults, from well-known dedicated government officials and energetic entrepreneurial self-starters, to an avid local farmer in his shorts and muddy boots, who represents character through his service to our community. For myself, I always imagined I would skip down the aisles in my PhD robes in front of the community and students who know me so well, and they would help me and encourage me, whispering that I got this and I can knock it out of the park. The reality is very different. In many ways, we now live in a partially projected society. The irony, of course, is that I am projected. And in the words of the great American poet and composer, Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'm not gonna waste my shot. 'Cause just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not gonna waste my shot. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Seniors who were inducted last year make up a cohort that is almost an exact replica of my class lists for 2 sections of 10th grade accelerated chemistry. You know who you are, right, Rita, Caroline, Patterson, or Donahue, right, Dylan? You all know who you are. It's been 2 whole years since I had you in class, and I miss you immensely. A super special group of inductees today are 10 seniors who did not qualify last year, but are being inducted today. Everyone needs to understand the courage that it takes to rise up, to not meet the mark, to be shot down, only to rise up again. So Lucy, Nick, Ava, Dana, Ethan, Heloise, Piper, Mike, Elise, and Callie, well done. It is an honor to know you and specifically acknowledge your self-determination. It is appropriate now to take a moment and recognize all the positive character, service, leadership, and academic achievements that you needed to accomplish. It is even more of a wonder that you accomplished this in very tough academic standard to join this esteemed group of the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society under the exceptionally difficult learning conditions imposed by a raging pandemic. We will no longer flippantly think of Cohasset High School students as coddled by helicopter parents and recipients of teacher grade inflation. Instead, you have been forced to grow up very quickly, to more evaluate your inner life, and have ultimately risen to the occasion. How wonderful. You didn't waste your shot. We recognize the heroic efforts of your parents and extended family. Both of my children, Jean, class of 2009, and Jack, class of 2013, are members of the group that you now join. I know from personal work and sacrifice what it takes to support my children on the journey to their goals. It is not easy to provide quiet space for kids to study. It is not easy to set up household rules where schoolwork comes first. It is not easy to negotiate teenage righteous indignation around these rules. I remember many late nights sitting around the dining table, scrambling to support my kids finishing a project. It was tough, juggling so much and getting by without much needed sleep. Now, I look back on those times fondly, impressed with my determination and the unwavering love for my kids. What's the lesson? With lip service and in more tangible ways, thank your parents and those family members that stand with you. Because just like our country, they are young, scrappy, and hungry, and they are not going to waste their shot. We enter the portion of my remarks in which your academic prowess will be challenged. In other words, a quiz. Breaking news: Americans are hoarding antacids. I guess we can tell that the societal restrictions on our behavior due to the coronavirus pandemic have run its course from shortages on hand sanitizer, to toilet paper, to flour and yeast, and now to antacids. A shout out to the field of chemistry, where all 5 of those materials, sanitizer, toilet paper, flour, yeast, and antacids, are incredibly interesting to study from a wide variety of aspects. Which of these 5 materials are living things? I wonder how this list has been enhanced by our collective dietary indiscretions. Anyhow, quiz time on pH and acid and antacids. Think of the word anti-acid. Right, so dietary indiscretions lead to excess stomach acid. These stomach juices react with something in the antacid and are neutralized to yield salt and water. What is the general chemical term for the active ingredient in the antacid? Right, an acid reacts with a base. Therefore, antacids must be a base. And they work in your stomach through a chemical reaction called a neutralization reaction. Wow, how well you've been taught. Looks like your science teachers didn't waste their shot. The best part about being a teacher is the daily interactions with students. The lack of teacher presence in your lives for the last couple of semesters makes this fact all the more truthful. There is not enough time for me to tell a story about each of you who have taken a course with me, but know that I certainly have one. It was 2018 in 10th grade accelerated chemistry when Kate and Waleed and I would often get off-topic conversations about the lack of ethics in our public square, specifically since 2016. We skirted around many political themes, and one conclusion I gleaned was that they were telling me that I live in a new world where cheating has become a norm and expected. I was shocked. Was this new normal trying to get me to lower my standards? Well, Kate, I miss our conversations, as I wonder if you agree that there may now be hope for a resurgence of morals, ethics, and values through decency. I hope your studies of history will open your eyes to the fact that our political system was not always broken. Is it possible that people are hungering for trustworthiness? Is being decent and kind and acting to support people in all our communities a tenet of what it means to have character? I wholeheartedly think the answer is yes. And just like my country, I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not going to lower my standards. High school is often not a happy time for many people. Lately, I've listened to interviews with female actors like Kate Winslet, Claire Danes, and our very own Kate Bosworth, who, one way or another, were bullied in high school. They felt insecure. They self-criticized. They had anxiety, and then they tried to mask it. Does that sound familiar? They want to tell you that looking back, a lot of the stuff that you stress about does not really matter. It is love and friendship and the depth of those connections and sticking to your values that matters. In other words, the character traits that you exemplify that lift others make it easy for you to sleep at night. I was impressed when Kate Bosworth said, "Be brave enough to lean into your vulnerabilities and express yourself. Be bold to expose your heart, even when it gets hurt. Because as people, that's what we have to do, and that's where you get the greatest reward." I learned from the Nigerian writer Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie that all this character stuff is not easy. There are contradictions. People are capable of enduring goodness within a messy and complicated life. You cannot have self-belief without having self-doubt. Chimamanda says, try to conceptualize a clear vision of what you want your small slice of the world to be and make it that way through acts of kindness and truly listening and hearing others. Know that people resist facts they do not like. And the hardest thing may be to acknowledge your own flaws. Do not justify or rationalize. Instead, recognize the full measure of your integrity. Be courageous to say, "I don't know," admit to the truth of what you don't know, and especially avoid barriers to truth, like cleverness, irony, obfuscation, or cynicism. Being inducted into the National Honor Society is not the end. In fact, it is the beginning. Your actions affect all of us in this community. Therefore, your character will be required every moment of every day to support and create the world we want to live in. Give everyone the dignity that they deserve. For the remainder of your high school career, we will be looking to you to set high standards of character as role models to underclassmen. I cannot overemphasize this statement. We look to your best character, and by default, the willing service you extend to our community. Once you get out of the cocoon that is Cohasset, the stakes will be higher, and the depth of your character will be tested. Our small town and the integrity and values that reside here are an amazing gift laying the foundation of your future. And I leave you with one last lesson, one last story. as a shout out to the multidimensional aspects of every human being, you and me included. I'm going to do it in the Scots dialect, so you're going to have to pay close attention. I have a dear Scottish friend whose son is currently training to be a physician. When his son was wee, his name was Jacob. Jacob traveled all across the Atlantic Ocean to come here to Cohasset to be with me. Can't even really describe how wee Jacob looked. I mean, the Scots are often their skin is quite white. I mean, it's not really pink, it's more of a blue-white. Like, you know the way that non-fat milk has that bluey haze? That's what he looked like. He had ginger hair, and he was smart as a whip. And all day long, you could see the wheels turning in his head. And towards the end of the day, he was jumping up and down. And he would say to me, Anne, Anne, Anne. And I'd be like, aye, Jacob, what is it? He'd be, Anne, Anne, can I ask you a question? And I said, of course, Jacob, you can ask me a question. What is it? And he said, Anne, can I get a shot? And that's the story of our wee Jacob. And so I ask you, what are you going to do with yours? Thank you.
Our next speaker is a graduate of the Cohasset High School class of 1993. As a student, Ray Jones exemplified the core principles of the National Honor Society. His involvement in athletics and the arts, as well as his commitment to the community, were tremendous. To many, he was simply known as Mr. Cohasset. Mr. Jones was kind enough to offer a message on the importance of unity and community to this year's inductees.
Hello, everyone, faculty and staff, and congratulations to this year's inductees into the National Honor Society. My name is Raymond Jones. I graduated class of 93. I started in the first grade and had the wonderful privilege of going all the way through to graduating in 93. So, hey guys, I think a lot of you don't know who I am, so I'm just going to talk about myself a little bit and my experiences at Cohasset. So here I am, a kid heading to first grade. It was a tough decision for my family to send me to Cohasset away from home, but they thought it would be a great opportunity, and they thought Cohasset would end up making a big difference in my life. And it has. So from day one, didn't know anybody, lost kid, being shown around the school. And from that day forward, I was able to develop my place in a great community. From friends, again, faculty, staff, coaches, the people who work as janitors and the nurses and all the other people involved in the Cohasset community in the school, and then even beyond that, outside, has helped make it a home away from home for me. And it has meant the world to me. And being part of a community means getting involved, right? Getting involved and trying to give back to the community as much as it has given me. I want to be a participant. I want to give what I can to make it a better place, to make it a stronger environment as I could. So that's what I did, whether it was with sports, whether it was with singing in choirs, whether it was acting in plays and musicals, or if it was just trying to be a good person in the hallway on any given day or in the cafeteria. Those things matter as well. A kind word can go a really long way in someone's life. Not just that day or that time, but in their life. So I encourage you to do as I did, and that is to continue to take full advantage of a loving community. The community supported you, you should support it back. No matter where you go, whether you stay close to home or travel far away, you should always remember what it means to be part of the community. Stay involved, stay engaged, and try to do the right thing. So there I was, walking through those halls, finally senior year, and I've had friends ask me, many years later, what made you decide to stay? Why did you keep coming back? There could have been other places you could have gone for many different reasons. And I said, well, it has always been home for me. It has always felt right. I've always had the right amount of accountability from teachers and coaches and even friends. And it is the right thing to call a friend out when they're not right, when they're wrong. You need that. You need that. It's going to make you a better person. It's going to keep you accountable. And beyond that, just the overall love and support from the community has made me whole, has always made me want to come back and be a part of it and continue to be a part of it. Whether that's coming back for Thanksgiving football games or inductions and the such, it's always good to come back and see familiar faces and even meet some new ones. So inductees, I hope you are enjoying the year despite the craziness of it. I still hope you are enjoying what the community hopefully means to you. So, unity, 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 unity. Things that matter in community. To be more of a unit, to be unified, means that individuals, who we all are, individuals with different beliefs, different understandings and wants and needs, but putting a lot of those things aside to come to the table to hear the other person, and find out what their needs and wants and desires are, and finding the common ground, and then using that to bring everyone closer together. The stronger the unity, the stronger the community, right? It's not that complicated, but it takes people doing it for it to work and for it to happen. So, again, keep coming to the table, keep listening, and keep finding the common ground, boys and girls. It will serve you well for the rest of your days. That's an important part of any community, is the listening part. And, sometimes we don't want to listen, but we should, because we learn more when we listen than when we talk over people. So, I'm hoping all of this stuff that you're learning in these wonderful halls of Cohasset High School are also preparing you to not be afraid to be a leader. We need more leaders, particularly in this day and age. We need plenty more leaders. And I have a good hunch if you're being inducted into the National Honor Society, then you're probably a good candidate. But keep striving. Don't take that for granted. Keep working hard. And as far as being a leader, I would like to encourage you to keep a few things in mind. It's not easy to be a leader. Some it comes naturally to some, but like anything else you want to be good at, you have to work at it. You have to put some time in and try to be better at what you're not great at. So, work at it. You can be a leader. I 100% believe that you can if you're not already. So, always try to be accountable. And not just for other people, but yourself. Be accountable to yourself. If you make a mistake, which we all do, own up to it, fix it, make it right, and grow from it and move on. And how about a little bit of empathy? That serves us well. Care about the next man or woman. A little bit of confidence. Sometimes it's not easy to build one's confidence, but the more you get out there and the more you try, the more confident you'll be, no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish. A little bit of confidence. And be honest to yourself, particularly to yourself. It will definitely give you a wholesome feeling that you're really trying hard to do the right thing, especially if you're being honest with yourself. Hey, I'm an optimistic person, and some of us are more optimistic than the others, but always try to see the bright side of things. It's not always easy, but give it a shot. Give it a shot. I think you'll enjoy it, quite honestly. And a tough one is inspiration, inspiring. Sometimes people think that trying to find a way to inspire others is something I couldn't possibly do. Well, sometimes inspiring people is with your actions, is the doing, is what inspires others. So think about that. You don't have to show up with, a crazy, out of this world, inspirational song and dance. Just do. Be active. Do it. Get moving. Do it. And in doing, I am sure you will inspire others to do the same and follow your lead, because that's part of being a leader, right? People following your lead. So get in there. Have some action. Have some initiative. And if you don't know exactly how to do it, ask. Try to find some guidance, and that way you can also deliver guidance to someone else. That's not, a bad idea, is to ask. And other than that, guys, just try to be a good person. If you want to be a leader, then you should be someone who wants to be a good person, who can be a good person. I'm sure that you are all of those things. So there you have it. Cohasset's an amazing community, guys. We need more leaders in these times. They are not easy. They have been challenging, and they've tested us all in many different ways. And in the end, I'm optimistic. We have a great future in you guys, and I know you have all the intangibles to, quite frankly, make this world a better world. So with this, I will say, never forget where you come from. Always look to a brighter future. Always support the community. And remember, if you want to go fast, no, that's not it. Let me try that again. If you want to go alone, you'll probably travel fast. But if you want to travel far, travel together. That's unity. That's community. Be a leader. Go for it, guys. Nothing can stop you. I'm out.
The emblem of the National Honor Society was first described by E.J. Eaton, one of the first members of the council, as the keystone in the flaming torch. The keystone bears at its base the letters CSLS, which stand for the four cardinal principles of the organization: character, scholarship, leadership, and service. As this keystone is placed by the builder to hold the perfect arch in perpetual stability, so the structure of our education must be held firm and true to the purposes of life by the virtues represented in this symbol. To bear forward the searching light of truth, to lead others that may follow in light, to keep burning in our school a high ambition for the enduring values of life, and to service. The purposes are symbolized in the torch of knowledge. The membership of the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by the effective demonstration of the four qualities held in high esteem by the Society. At this time, I would like to introduce our chapter secretary, Isabella Hess, who will join me in reviewing these qualities.
To begin, I will light the candle of scholarship.
Scholarship means commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education is ended, for education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. Next, I will light the candle of leadership.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking the initiative in class and school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others in the same objective. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence and will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a country, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a substantive charge to each of our members. Third, I will light the candle of service.
Service can be described in various ways. In the routine of the day's work, many opportunities arise to help others. Willingness to work for the benefit of those in need, without monetary compensation or without recognition, is the quality we seek in our membership. We are committed to the idea of volunteering our time and abilities to the creation of a better tomorrow. Finally, I will light the candle of character.
Character is the force within each individual which distinguishes that person from others. It gives each of us our individuality. It is that, without which, no one can respect oneself nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, once developed, grows steadily. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant action, striving daily to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others. By demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, careness, and citizenship, we may hope to prove by example that we value character.
Now please join me for the Pledge of the National Honor Society. I pledge to maintain my high scholastic standing, to hold as fundamental and worthy an untarnished character, to endeavor intelligently and courageously, to be a leader, and to give of myself freely in service to others. In so doing, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society.
I'm honored to welcome James Appleton into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known James since his freshman year playing football and basketball. James embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering at Holly Hill Farm over the summers, showing leadership by putting together a group to reach out to the seniors at Sunrise Senior Center, and by achieving honors this year. James would like to thank Coach Ruggiero for how he has helped James develop on the court and as a person through his coaching.
I am honored to welcome Nathaniel Sharon into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. Nathan embodies all that NHS stands for through his commitment to service at Holly Hill Farm, removing invasive species and weighing produce, and through his leadership and helpfulness as Eagle Scout and Assistant Senior Patrol Leader of Cohasset's Troop 28. Finally, Nathan would like to thank Phil Lair, President of Cohasset's Appalachia Service Project Group, for showing him the campsite that he used when he was a scout and providing inspiration for his Eagle Scout project, the construction of a chair and a bench in the Barnes Wildlife Sanctuary.
I am honored to welcome Brendan Joseph Sigari into the Joseph Osgood Charter of National Honor Society. I have known Brendan since he joined Boy Scouts in 2015. Brendan embodies all that National Honor Society stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering with the Boy Scouts and helping throughout the community, showing leadership by teaching young kids to sail during the summer, and showing scholarship by challenging himself in succeeding in higher level courses. Brendan would like to thank Coach A for their long-lasting influence on them during sports and academics.
I am honored to welcome Lucy Clay into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I've known Lucy for over 10 years, and since then I've been lucky enough to call her my best friend. Lucy embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service through her countless hours of dedication at eelgrass research at CSCR. showing leadership by properly managing and leading the Eelgrass project this summer as a grant leader and by exemplifying character through her devotion to music over the past 10 years. Lucy would like to thank Susan Bryant, ecology facilitator and board member at CSCR, for her help in creating a welcoming and collaborative environment that allows student researchers to tap into their curiosity and develop research-based projects. Lucy would also like to thank Ms. Bryant for inspiring those around her and always pushing Lucy to do her best.
I am honored to welcome Evelyn Dickey into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Evelyn since her freshman year, when she joined me as a youth leader in the Safe Harbor Cohasset Coalition. Evelyn embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by creating a safe and healthy community for her peers, by addressing the importance of good mental health, and her extraordinary leadership in the youth of Cohasset. Evelyn would like to thank Nicole Balashi for expanding her outlook on mental health and drug misuse among students and making her a more confident person overall.
I'm honored to welcome Brooke Evans into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I've known Brooke since we started singing in the chorus together, and I've been able to get to know her even better in Spanish class, in school clubs, and through friends. Brooke embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering at Holly Hill Farm, displaying her leadership by planning events with the Water First organization, and by earning high honors throughout her high school career. Brooke would like to thank her coach, Kathleen Boyle, who has inspired her through her determination and encouraged her to always work hard towards success.
I am honored to welcome Benjamin Ford into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Ben since my sophomore year when we both joined the track and field team and have had the privilege to call him one of my best friends ever since. Ben embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering his time at Wellspring Food Pantry, showing leadership by helping lead a raffle fund for the Children's Hospital Leukemia Program, and by receiving the highest honors in taking advanced placement classes throughout high school. Ben would like to thank Cohasset's wrestling coach, Mr. Sweeney, for his advice to always give your best effort and for his life lessons teachings of controlling what you can and not worrying about what you can't. Congratulations, Ben.
I am honored to welcome Ellie Fox into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have played on 2 sports teams with Ellie and grown close with her over the years. Ellie embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by helping those without access to clean water in Honduras, serving as a role model for others in both her workplace and local service organizations, and by exemplifying the passion and diligence of an NHS member. Ellie Fox would like to thank Coach A for his passionate attitude towards education, environmental preservation, and athletics. His determination to better the world is both inspirational and admirable to her.
I am honored to welcome Nola Gallagher into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Nola since her freshman year in concert band and getting rides home from her older sister. Nola embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering 75 hours this summer at Holly Hill Farm's Farm to Food Pantry program, showing leadership by her involvement in Water First International and by earning high honors multiple times. Nola would like to thank Mrs. Moriarty, Department Head of Visual and Performing Arts, for her support and motivation to help her do well no matter the subject or difficulty, and push her to become a better person and find positive meaning in everything.
I'm honored to welcome Madison Gould into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Madison since we were classmates in a play together in middle school. Madison embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service, exemplified in her volunteer work for Cohasset 250 for 2.5 years, her demonstration of leadership by being a counselor for a boys and girls basketball camp, and achieving honors in school. Madison would like to thank Dawn Royne from Cohasset 143 for helping to shape her aspirations and goals for the future.
I am honored to welcome Liam Heinlein into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Liam since the beginning of our high school experience. Liam embodies all that National Honor Society stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering at Holly Hill Farm and devoting his time to student council. So not only is Liam an avid volunteer, he has also installed himself as a leader amongst his peers within our CHS community. To further emphasize his willingness to lead by example and serve his community, he also coaches kids at a local mountain biking club. Liam would personally like to thank physics and science teacher Mrs. Reardon for her influence on developing his character.
I'm also honored to welcome Viola Henry into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Viola ever since our families camped on Bassings Beach 10 years ago. Viola embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service at Holly Hill Farm, showing leadership on the soccer field and challenging herself with high-level physics and language courses. Viola would like to thank Coach Lee Doherty for his constant encouragement, positive mindset, and inspiration on and off the soccer field.
I'm honored to welcome Luke Herndon into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Luke since his freshman year playing on the basketball team. Luke embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering to help the local elderly at Sunrise Senior Living and showing leadership by motivating his peers to chase their dreams. Luke would like to thank all of his family for encouraging and guiding him with positive behavior throughout his life.
I am honored to welcome Emmy Hone into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. Emmy and I have grown to be good friends over the course of the past few years from being on the same sports teams. I'm so proud of her for the achievement of induction into the National Honor Society. Emmy embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by working at the food pantry in Martha's Vineyard weekly, showing leadership by being a leader for the First Water organization, and by consistently earning high marks. Emmy would like to thank her mother, Marcella, for always being by her side and pushing her to not only be a better person, but a better student.
I am honored to welcome Nick Kluza into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. Nick Kluza embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by helping coordinate events for the homeless around the city of Boston, showing leadership by working with younger children at recreational and athletic camps, and by earning high honors and maintaining a GPA above the requirement. Nick would like to thank his family and friends for their encouraging support of his academic and athletic pursuits in molding him into a successful and scholarly individual.
I am honored to welcome Bridget Buckley-Condrat into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Bridget since she was born. Bridget embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by organizing a food drive for the Cohasset food pantry, showing leadership through her hard work as president of her class, by earning high honors all throughout her high school career. Bridget would like to thank her grandmother, Cleta Buckley, for her role as a loving and inspirational influence throughout her life.
I am honored to welcome Joshua Kripke into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Joshua since the beginning of AP Biology, where we have worked together on several group projects. Joshua embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by tending to the crops at Holly Hill Farm, showing leadership by guiding the underclassmen on the soccer team, and by succeeding in numerous demanding classes. Joshua would like to thank Mr. Willis for his everlasting encouragement on the soccer field and in the classroom.
I am honored to welcome Ava Josephine Lee into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Ava since we were toddlers at the Inley School, and she has been one of my best friends ever since. Ava embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering in local schools, hospitals, soup kitchens, and clothing drives on a service trip to Camden, New Jersey. She has demonstrated leadership as a camp counselor at a vacation Bible school and a strong commitment to academic achievement with her place on the high honor roll. Ava would like to thank her parents for demonstrating hard work and commitment and providing her with exemplary skill sets.
I am honored to welcome Calliope Lanier into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. Calliope embodies the purpose of NHS through her service with the Girl Scouts, her leadership with the art magazine, and her exemplary character through her work with the Teen Advisory Board. Calliope would like to thank her sister for the inspirational and motivational example she has set for her.
I am honored to welcome Grayson Lord into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Grayson since we were very young, when our families both used to go skiing at Waterville Valley Mountain in New Hampshire. She has always been very motivated to work her hardest, and it is reflected in all of the things she does. Grayson embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by teaching mentally and physically disabled people how to ski. She also participated in raising money for communities in need through the Water First program. She has shown leadership by being her class vice president for student council, and she also taught tennis this summer as assistant pro at the Cohasset Golf Club. Furthermore, Grayson has exemplified strong character in many ways. One includes teaching her 10-year-old sister during remote learning when her parents are at work, which is an act of selflessness and devotion. Grayson would like to thank her grandfather, David, Papa, Lord Sr., for sharing his stories about the meaningful places and people that he has met throughout his lifetime, which have influenced her to have a strong aspiration to travel.
I am honored to welcome Ryan Madden into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Ryan since a very young age. We played baseball together with and against each other growing up. Ryan embodies all that the National Honor Society stands for in his devotion to serving those in need. With regards to this service, he attributed his time and willingness through gathering donations for the Cohasset Food Pantry. Ryan is also an excellent leader. This is prevalent in his ability to organize and execute larger-scale events, in his cleanup project where he and others cleaned up multiple public areas in town. Ryan cordially accredits his success and induction to his mother, Christine Madden, and thanks her for her constant love and support.
I am honored to welcome Bridget Mahoney into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Bridget since she was a freshman on my soccer, basketball, and lacrosse teams, and as she became one of my best and most valued friends. Bridget embodies all that National Honor Society stands for in her commitment to community service through volunteering at Holly Hill Farm, fundraising for the local food drive, and organizing works for the veterans of Cohasset. She exemplifies the values of National Honor Society through leadership by running a committee for Cohasset Green Team, and through scholarship by earning high honors this year. Bridget would like to thank Major General Christopher Mahoney for his influence on her in respect to the importance of a strong work ethic and the value of family.
I am honored to welcome Dana Mahoney into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Dana since the 6th grade, and I am grateful to call her one of my closest friends. Dana embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service through uniquely dedicating time to volunteer work in both Fiji and Thailand. This spring, Dana is excited to expand on her leadership skills as a tennis captain while maintaining a high academic standard as she concludes her journey at CHS. Dana would like to thank Coach A for his guidance and mentorship in the classroom and beyond.
I am honored to welcome Ethan Maxwell into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Ethan since the 3rd grade when we originally met at Deer Hill. Ethan embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service and years of dedication and volunteer work given to the Cohasset Center for Student Coastal Research, showing leadership by serving as a captain of the debate team and by upholding an impressive and rigorous academic record while also participating in and contributing to various extracurricular activities. Ethan would like to thank Jason McCabe for his role in teaching him to develop proper leadership qualities and further discover his interests and passions.
I am honored to welcome Abigail Moy into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Abby and her family throughout my years at Cohasset High School while playing on the same field hockey team and enjoying the values of teamwork and hard work with her. Abby embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by helping to provide food and books to those in need in her local community, showing leadership by instructing younger generations in field hockey, and her willingness to challenge herself on the field, in the classroom, and in music as a member of pep band. Abby would like to thank Miss Olivia Almeida for her encouragement of hard work and patience in order to succeed. Her embodiment of passion, diligence, and positivity serves as a role model for Abby and motivates her to achieve these qualities as well.
I am honoured to welcome Eloise Navica into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. Eloise and I first met in Mr. Gallotta's Algebra 2 class during our sophomore year. Since then, we have become good friends, and I am excited to introduce her to the National Honour Society. Eloise possesses all the qualities of an NHS member. She has demonstrated a commitment to service by visiting with the residents of the Sunrise Senior Living community and by dedicating time over the summer to assisting Mrs. Cerusi in the Learning Commons. At Sunrise, she went above and beyond by forming a new social group to interact with patients living with dementia, proving her leadership abilities. Lastly, Eloise's impressive academic record more than qualifies her for the NHS value of scholarship. Eloise would like to thank her sister Juliet for inspiring her growth both as a student and a human being. Juliet's advice and presence in Eloise's life has helped her to not only survive high school but thrive, and she is very grateful to have such a caring sister.
I'm honored to welcome Liesl Nee into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Liesl for a while because I don't remember a time when I didn't know her. Liesl embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service through her activism against underage substance abuse, showing leadership as a youth ambassador to Safe Harbor's Cohasset Coalition, and helping me figure out what's going on in AP Calculus. Liesl would like to thank Erica McHugh for her mentorship and kindness over the past many years.
I'm honored to welcome Connor Nichols into the Joseph Osgood chapter of National Honor Society. I have known Connor since we played on the same baseball team together in 5th grade. Connor and I were also teammates during his freshman year of high school, where we both played quarterback. Connor embodies all that NHS stands for in his commitment to service by volunteering for Holly Hill Farm over the course of the summer. He also exemplifies his leadership by spending his free time teaching middle schoolers chess at the Cohasset Rec Center. Lastly, Connor displayed his character through serving dinner at Rosie's Place, a homeless shelter in Boston. The qualities of selflessness and humility that Connor possesses are why he will make a great addition to the Joseph Osgood chapter of National Honor Society. Connor would like to thank his parents for all that they have taught him. He attributes his character and his academic achievements to their support.
I am honored to welcome Riley Nichols into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I've known Riley since she moved here over 4 years ago. Our families are very good friends and we often see each other during get-togethers. Riley embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering at Holly Hill Farm and at the Safe Harbor Cohasset Coalition. She shows her dedication to leadership and exemplifying character by volunteering to teach Irish step dance classes to young boys and girls, and earning the Hardest Working Student Award from Dunleavy Boyle Academy of Irish Dance after overcoming a serious injury. Riley would like to thank Michael Boyle, DBA Director and Owner, for his encouragement to work hard, to set stretch goals, and to remain positive and focused on exceeding expectations.
I am honored to welcome one of my best friends, Maeve Norton, into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Maeve since as long as I can remember, and she has been by my side through everything. We grew up together and have so many wonderful memories. Maeve embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service through numerous organizations, including Holly Hill Farm, Water First, and many others. She has exemplified leadership in teaching young kids swim lessons by acting as a strong, independent, and caring individual. Maeve has consistently earned high honor roll each semester in high school and has always strived to live up to her highest self. She works hard in every aspect of her life and continues to raise the bar for her classmates. Maeve would like to thank Coach A for his influence on her academic and personal development. He has been a positive figure in the school, and she appreciates that he truly is considerate of not only the academic motivations of his students,
but also empathizing with their personal feelings and valuing individual opinions.
I am honored to welcome Piper Norton into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Piper since freshman year on the swim team. Piper embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering at the Scituate Animal Shelter since 2018, showing leadership by coordinating the CHS swim team's meets and constantly promoting team spirit, and by earning honors all throughout high school. Piper would like to thank Melissa Berry for their positivity and patience, which made school so much more fun for her, and has now motivated her to do the same for others.
It is my greatest honor to welcome Rio Nozawa to the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I've known Rio since when we took Mr. Craig's creative design class together, where we shared many hilarious moments and bonded over music, and now in the classes we share where we complain and struggle together but still end up doing just fine. Rio embodies all that NHS stands for. Her commitment to service and helping others is a key aspect of who she is as a person, and is illustrated through her time in China, where she volunteered to assist and teach young children at a center for autism. She also demonstrated great leadership through her position as member and co-president of the Asian Pacific Culture Club, which at the moment has become a Snapchat group chat for AP Literature. Nevertheless, her selflessness, kindness, and commitment to bringing change greatly inspires me both as a friend and peer. Rio truly is an example for others and makes for a perfect member of this institution. You're awesome, Rio. Rio would also like to thank Miss Carolyn Crimmins for her interesting and thoughtful discussions about life and society, as well as her endless support and mentorship for groups such as the Asian Pacific Culture Club, which demonstrates her tireless efforts to fight for students to have a voice and enact great change.
I'm honored to welcome Michael Powers into the Joseph Osgood chapter of National Honor Society. I have known Michael since we started playing lacrosse together in 4th grade, and we have been teammates ever since. Michael embodies all that National Honor Society stands for in his commitment to service by helping underprivileged students through School on Wheels over the summer. He also shows his leadership by representing the senior class as our president. Finally, Michael has exemplified his perseverance and selflessness through his countless acts of volunteering and leadership roles. Having known Michael for over 8 years, I can assure you that he will make a great addition to the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. Michael would like to thank Mr. Willis for showing him the qualities necessary to become a leader. Michael would also like to recognize Mr. Willis for instilling strong morals and helping him shape his character throughout the years.
I am honored to welcome Elise Regan into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Elise since we started playing soccer together in 4th grade, and she has been my best friend ever since. Elise embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by teaching CCD on the weekends and volunteering for the food pantry, showing leadership by acting as a mentor and role model for young girls at Camp Cohasset, and by excelling in her academic studies. Elise would like to thank her teacher, Karina Nelson, for supporting her as a role model and motivating her to work hard in order to achieve her goals.
I am honored to welcome Lily Riley into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Lily since the start of high school. Lily embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by working with the Director of Youth Programs at Water First organization and volunteering at the Special Olympics Polar Plunge, showing leadership by creating a Boston board of high school students for Water First, and by exemplifying excellent character by participating in the varsity lacrosse and field hockey teams. Lily would like to thank her mom for her representation of determination and the lesson that in order to achieve your goals, you have to go after them yourself. She would also like to thank her for always supporting her passions and being a friend she can always go to. Congrats, Lily.
I am honored to welcome Natalie Simone into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I know Natalie from our summer swim team days when we were in middle school, and I look forward to getting to know her better this year. Natalie embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering at the local food pantry, church, and senior center, showing leadership by mentoring young dancers at Raquel's dance studio, and by upholding stellar grades throughout high school. Natalie would like to thank her dance coach, Kenzie Finn, who taught her what it means to be a positive role model for others through passion, hard work, and a growth mindset.
I am honored to welcome Samili Soares into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I've known Samili for a while now, and I've had the pleasure of being in a class with her this year. Samili embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by helping at the local farmers market, showing leadership by teaching CCD classes at church, and exemplifying character by having loyalty to her faith. Samili would like to thank Olivia Almeida, a teacher at CHS, for their kindness towards others and helpfulness in the classroom.
I am honored to welcome Callie Davis into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Callie for as long as I can remember, and she has been a valuable part in our Cohasset community. Callie embodies all that NHS has to stand for in her commitment to service by participating in ASP, replacing veterans' flags, and bringing lunches to medical workers at Cecil Hospital, showing leadership by being captain for the field hockey team and co-manager at the Sandy Beach Snack Shack, and by showing her excellent character and teamwork by one welcoming freshman to the field hockey team. Callie would like to thank Mrs. Humphrey, an excellent math teacher here at Cohasset High School, for encouragement to work hard, persevere, to always be herself, and to see the good in others. Congrats to you, Callie.
I am honored to welcome Molly Stevens into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Molly for as long as I can remember and forever thankful to have grown up with her as one of my closest friends. Molly embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by being a youth board member for the organization called Water First, showing leadership in her field hockey captainship, and by earning high honors as well as taking multiple advanced placement classes throughout high school. Molly would like to thank her sister, Emma Stevens, for always being her role model and for her demonstration of true work ethic and determinations. Congratulations, Molly.
I am honored to welcome Lily Wallingford into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have not known Lily for long, but I am truly impressed by the extensive work she has done for her community. Lily embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by giving skating lessons to children and adults with disabilities, showing leadership by planning events to foster inclusivity and community outreach at the rink she skates at, and by earning high honors. Lily would like to thank Coach A for consistently encouraging her to take risks and break out of her shell, which has helped improve her education and also taught her how to have a positive influence on others.
I am honored to welcome Julia Willett into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I have known Julia since we joined cheer together her freshman year. Julia embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering at Newton Wellesley Hospital, showing leadership by instructing younger kids at the Cohasset Sailing Club, and by receiving high honors in her first quarter of junior year. Julia would like to thank Peter Afanasu, a teacher at CHS, for their influence leading Cohasset's green team as well as their guidance in the classroom.
I am honored to welcome Katrin Williams into the Joseph Osgood chapter of the National Honor Society. I have known Katrin for over a year. Katrin embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by cleaning Wheelwright Park along with pep band, showing leadership by helping younger students in concert band, and by taking multiple AP classes as a junior, earning high grades in each. Katrin would like to thank Mrs. Humphrey for her positive attitude and always understanding a different student's needs.
I'm honored to welcome Elaine Wicks into the Joseph Osgood chapter of National Honor Society. I have known Elaine since her freshman year through mutual classes and friends. Elaine embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by taking part in ASP, showing her leadership as a sailing instructor for Cohasset Sailing Club, and by exemplifying character through kindness and determination. Elaine would like to thank her French teacher, Madam Scott, for showing her love of learning new cultures and languages.
I am honored to welcome Kevin Wren into the Joseph Osgood chapter of National Honor Society. I've known him for the past 2 years through our employment at Mathnasium and can truly say that he embodies all that NHS stands for. He exemplifies the pillars of scholarship, leadership, service, and character, both through commitment to service by delivering meals to senior citizens and showing leadership through his involvement with the Cohasset Library. Kevin would like to thank his trigonometry and algebra teacher, Olivia Almeida, for helping to further his love for the subject.
I am honored to welcome Margaret Young into the Joseph Osgood chapter of NHS. I met Maggie through NHS, and I cannot wait to get to know her better. Maggie embodies all that NHS stands for in her commitment to service by volunteering her time at the library and at church. She demonstrates her dedication to leadership and exemplifying character by running a town-wide Girl Scout book drive and earning high honors throughout her middle school and high school years. Maggie would like to thank her mom, Natalie Young, for always believing in her and pushing her to be the best that she can be.
Our principal, Mr. Brian Scott, will now conclude the ceremony with his remarks.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to address you and your families as we celebrate your induction into the National Honor Society. Membership to NHS is a rare milestone, a crowning achievement that recognizes years of smaller accomplishments, the pleasure of which Mr. Turner afforded me when he let me read some of the materials in your applications. I'll spare you the triteness of pointing out that this is a year unlike any other. These circumstances we are under, they are certainly anything but fair. And as the pandemic lingers, the collective rumble of voices denouncing the unfairness continues to grow. Not being in school full-time is unfair. Not being able to travel for Thanksgiving or have a homecoming dance or breathe without a mask on. Not knowing what the impact will be on colleges or the economy or our friendships. Everything just seems so unfair. I want to explore that concept a little, fairness. And to do so, I'd like to turn to Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, a short story published in New Yorker on June 26, 1948. It's a story about a small town that gathers on the commons each year to participate in the age-old tradition of holding a town-wide lottery. Most of you have read it in 9th grade. The lottery was conducted, the story reads, as were the square dances, the teen club, the Halloween program, by Mr. Summers, who had the time and energy to devote to civic activities. Jackson never identifies the town, but her description of it could put it squarely in Cohasset Commons. The day is clear and sunny, with the fresh warmth of a full summer day. The flowers were blossoming profusely, and the grass was richly green. As the townspeople gather in the square for the lottery, children restlessly stuff their pockets with stones as the adults make small talk of work and politics. The air is light, with the bustling of activity much like a farmer's market. Townspeople turn out in droves and remark how quickly the time passes, that it seemed like they only got through the last lottery a week ago. In the midst of the preparations being made for the lottery, much is made about the tradition of the event, that although the rituals and paraphernalia have changed over the years, much of what is present still predates the oldest townsperson, Old Man Warner. The tradition persists despite the challenges of some townspeople, mostly younger voices, who question the purpose of the tradition. Their calls for change are met with criticisms that they are advocating against the progress made by their elders and towards a return to incivility and economic regression. Pack of young fools, Old Man Warner says. And as the lottery proceeds throughout the story, with each townsperson drawing a sheet of paper from the black box, it settles on Mrs. Hutchinson, who immediately seizes on the unfairness of the event. That her husband wasn't given enough time to choose, that everyone could see that and agreed, that they needed to change what they were doing. And of course, the story ends with Mrs. Hutchinson screaming in anguish, "This isn't fair, it isn't right," as the stones are upon her, her prize as the winner of the lottery being struck to death by her neighbors. It isn't fair, it isn't right. With her final words, Mrs. Hutchinson draws an important distinction between what is fair and what is right. Strictly speaking, the lottery was completely fair. All families followed the same procedure and had the same chance. That she didn't like the outcome had nothing to do with its being fair or not. But that isn't Shirley Jackson's point. Whether the lottery is fair or not is irrelevant. What matters, and what Mrs. Hutchinson realizes, is that the tradition of the lottery isn't right. And no one challenged that but the young voices in the story. Too often we confuse what's fair and what's right, and it's complicated sometimes by our attachment to traditions or systems in which we operate that go unexplored. As they say at the Osgood School, it's who we are and what we do. Let's take that in reverse. What we do is linked to who we are, and thus our traditions are an important part of our identity. Challenging something that makes up our identity is hard, and made harder the older you get, especially if, like Old Man Warner, we don't find ourselves on the unfair or unjust side of the tradition. But the statement, because we've always done it this way, doesn't always provide the most robust answer to the question, why do we do it this way at all? In what ways are what we do linked to who we are? Your essays are appropriately dotted with accomplishments in the classroom, on the athletic field, on the stage, and in the pit. Our achievements become part of who we are because we define ourselves in part by the activities in which we engage. I'm an actress, a singer, an honor roll student, an athlete. But those definitions often mask the underlying characteristics that truly make up who you are as an ever-evolving human being. Such activities are offered in schools to promote and grow and reveal much deeper characteristics of who you are. Maybe you are brave or joyful or persistent or empathetic. These deeper characteristics are revealed to you through your activities. Pushing through that last sprint or the final project, even though you feel like you could give up. Practicing hours upon hours until that last combination of notes finally comes together. Trying and being rejected, but working harder and coming back stronger. Those efforts build who you are. When we keep our identities on the surface, we ignore that these activities are often temporary and are challenged when they become disrupted. An athlete who is injured may no longer be able to identify as an athlete unless they can tap into a greater strength cultivated by athletics. The activities are not included in schools simply for your enjoyment. I'm sorry to tell you, but they don't really matter if they are ends unto themselves. But they will prepare you for things that do matter. Every life is challenged by real and painful obstacles, and our ability to persist through those obstacles relies on us tapping into a deeper understanding of who we are. Otherwise, we run the risk of using the concept of fairness to understand our situations, which can result in painting ourselves as victims. If you had a 3.74 GPA, you might argue that the process for getting into NHS was unfair because you're linking your identity as a scholar to a number or membership and not to a love of learning. If you weren't elected as a captain, you might argue that it was unfair because you're linking your identity as a leader to a title and not to a way of being. Lots of leaders are not captains, and lots of captains are not leaders. And the best leaders do not lord their position over others, but share their skills in service to them. We need to shift away from thinking about what's fair and start thinking about what's right, about what our core values are, and how our character reflects those values through our actions, about whether the systems and traditions in which we participate uphold those values or whether they, like the lottery, are fundamentally unjust and perpetuated by our refusal to challenge them. Who you are is reflected all over your essays in ways that are more genuine and more distinctive than any position held in the school. The breadth of opportunities you've taken to share your gifts with others shows more about leadership than any captaincy does. From the farm to food pantry at Holly Hill to the Water First initiative in Honduras, your influence spans an impressive territory. From local organizations like the Carolina Hill, Rosie's Place, and the Situate Animal Shelter, to the Adaptive Ski Program in Waterville, or the Food for Kids initiative in Falmouth. From the litany of scouting projects, the work with Safe Harbor and ASP, your interests and abilities combine into a masterful tapestry of experiences that shape a varied and compelling identity full of optimism and promise. Your engagement of social justice combines all of the pillars that distinguish NHS members: scholarship, character, leadership, and service, because you participate in interrupting the systems and traditions that perpetuate injustice. Not getting the lead in the play may or may not be unfair, but not having running water isn't just unfair, it's unjust. Having greater obstacles exist because of where you were born or your skin color or gender or your physical or intellectual ability isn't just unfair, it's unjust. that it's newsworthy that a woman is now the general manager of a baseball team or a black woman can be the vice president of the United States are reflections of antiquated systems and traditions in which even our passive participation contributes to the problem. But your service to others interrupts those systems and taps into a greater sense of human connection. One student put it this way: "It gave me a sense of purpose. Watching an autistic child who had already encountered a lifetime of obstacles yelp with the joy at the simplicity of snow running beneath their skis showed me a purpose in life I never knew I had. And I found that if I am not positively impacting other people, then I am not positively impacting myself either. Like the youth in the lottery, you've been born into a world that needs you like no other time in history. We need to challenge ourselves to think beyond the traditions and ask whether those traditions accurately represent our values. The pandemic has upset every tradition we have, and it's exposed systemic inequities like never before. Inequalities in education, in the vulnerability of our elderly and our sick, in our economic systems, in racial tensions and gender roles and hunger, and how we are able to care for the most disabled. Before we go blindly back to the systems and traditions that divide us, let's ask ourselves whether those traditions represent our best selves. If not, how we might reinvent them, both in our school and in our world. Align yourself with what's fair, but commit yourself to what's right. You have the ability to change the world. Be disruptors. Congratulations on your acceptances. Now let's see what we can do. Will each officer rise to stand beside each lighted candle, symbol of the flaming torch of freedom and knowledge that reminds us to bear forward the searching light of truth and to lead others to follow that light. Our ceremony is concluded. Officers, you may extinguish your candles.